So if you're a guy right now in 2025, I completely understand your frustration when it comes to dealing with many of these modern women. Now, I just want to start off by saying that I don't think all modern women are this way, but I think a great majority are, and the proof comes from the constant videos and TikToks that I see every day on YouTube, Facebook, and just other social media platforms of women just completely losing it on the internet. And to be honest, for a lot of these men out here, I can't say that I blame them for not wanting to date or get married anymore, because I've seen that it's very discouraging to some when, let's say, they're hearing all of these stories from other men about how, like a relationship or marriage didn't work out. They might have had a horrible experience with their women, and then just other women who are acting crazy, and then going back to, women on the internet and just things that they're posting. I mean, some of them are out here just exposing themselves verbally, showing their true colors, and then oftentimes maybe physically too. And I mainly see these crazy videos from women pop up from YouTubers that I watch, like Anton Daniels, and just a little shout out to him. I love his content. But the other day he posted this one video about this woman who didn't really like this guy, but he wanted to take her out on a date, and he ended up paying $500 for like a luxury massage, and pretty much just saying how, yeah, I don't really like this guy, but I'm still just gonna get something out of it. But yeah, the self-snitching out here with some of these women is just insane, and I really do hope that that guy saw the video so he knows how she really feels about him. But then I remember the other day Anton also reacted to this video of this lady who was saying that, oh, guys need to pay to talk to me, have a one-on-one conversation. And at that point, I was thinking, what is up with the delusion and just the self-worship? Because do y'all remember that video from, I think it was 2 years ago, where that guy took that lady on the date to the Cheesecake Factory, and then she wasn't happy about it? She started recording and she was saying things like, who takes a woman who looks like this and is dressed like this on a date to the Cheesecake Factory? And I felt so bad for that guy because he didn't deserve that. And I am so glad that in the end, I think he actually took her back home, and yeah, he just wasn't having it. And from what I remember, I think she actually made him wait an hour at her apartment before she actually was ready to go. And then I was thinking, lady, why are your standards so high? And then you can't even have the decency to not record him and just talk in private about how you're feeling. And that was just very rude and disrespectful. And then on top of that, you were most likely going to be getting a free meal, so you should have been appreciative. Because I know for a fact that if somebody takes me to the Cheesecake Factory, I'm gonna be ecstatic because I love me some good cheesecake, let me tell you. But yeah, after seeing all that and hearing about it, I would hope that some women would be understanding of, why some men are not even wanting to approach women anymore. And I also did a video about that a couple of weeks ago. And, lately I've also just been seeing videos of women just contradicting themselves, because in one video, they'll be like, oh, well, I'm a single, independent woman who doesn't need no man. But then in another, they'll be like, where did all the good men go? Why are they not approaching us anymore? And I always love to reenact some of these TikToks that I see from people, and then, some of these women who are out here just acting crazy. And I kind of find it funny that I even have to say this, because I've done these in my other videos before, and some people think that I'm being serious, like talking about myself, but I'm not. This is me just reenacting how people are acting in some of their TikToks. Like, you can't make this stuff up. So yeah, other than that, don't take it seriously, but I guess do at the same time because this is stuff that's really going on. But yeah, I hope you enjoy. So I have a message for all of you men out there. If you see me out in public at the gym with my friends, just anywhere, do not approach me, because ladies, we need to rise up and start being some single, independent women, because these men out here just cannot be trusted. And I would much rather feel like, I would feel so much safer if I was alone in the woods with a bear than I would with a man, because at least with a bear, you can expect that it's going to act like a bear, because with these men, you just never know. So yeah, men, I'm telling you, don't approach me anytime, anywhere, ever again. Y'all, I just want to say, like, why is it so hard to find a man these days that is, like, gonna approach you? Like, where did all the good men go? Like, I'm just a regular girl and I just want a regular guy. Like, is that so hard to ask? Like, I just don't get why men are not approaching women anymore. Like, I just don't get it at all. Just, yeah, guys, I'm single. Like, approach me, please. Just, I'm begging you. So yeah, going off of that, I mean, do you see what the problem is here? You know, it's just easier for some men just not to deal with that at all, because, you know, you're gonna say one thing and then say another, and I think we all know it's just for the attention. But, you know, I also remember a time where people were so scared of looking desperate, like they didn't want anybody knowing, but now they're so comfortable with putting it all out on the internet for millions to see. And people really do love rage baiting these days as well, so it's very hard to tell what's real and what's not. But when I see girls on the internet who are crying about how men aren't approaching them anymore, I'm just like, come on, you're better than that. And I just think, you know, you had to build yourself up to that point to get ready to start crying, just get all the emotions built up. And I'm just like, it's just insane, because I honestly can't remember the last time I ever saw a guy like having a full-fledged just, you know, mental breakdown into his phone about how women aren't approaching him. And I really do think that women who are making these crazy videos are ruining it for other women who do want a relationship. They want to get married in the future. They want to have a family. But these guys are being discouraged from even putting in the effort. And, you know, I can sit here and say how much I enjoy being single, and I do, because, you know, I made a video on it the other day. But I'm not going to say that I'm a single independent woman who don't need no man, because I know for a fact, like, I want to get married in the future and have a family. And I'm really hoping that if I do meet someone one day, that he won't be discouraged. But now I want to get into what I also love doing, is reviewing comments. And I really just wanted to see what some of these men out here are having to say about this issue. So let's get into it. All right, so this person did it the opposite way. He put number 1 at the bottom instead of the top, but I guess I'll just start at number 1. I was about to start at 5. So number 1, sick of being cheated on. Number 2, sick of being broke. Number 3, sick of being taken advantage of. Number 4, sick of supporting a woman. And number 5, sick of raising other people's kids. So I think this comment really does sum up how a lot of men are feeling about, you know, modern women. And, you know, just going off of number 1, many women don't want to be loyal or in committed relationships. Number 2, you know, sick of being broke. And I do have to say that, you know, it's important for anybody to save their money as best they can and just make sure you're not spending it all on another person without them, you know, not doing anything in return. And then number 3, sick of being taken advantage of. Number 4, sick of supporting another woman. And yeah, you know, just, you can't be lazy and expect that, you know, a man's just going to take care of you and you're not going to, you know, give back anything in return. And I think, unfortunately, that's what a lot of women want these days. again, with their standards being so high. And then you also have, guys that are sick of raising other people's kids because, the women are also expecting you to take care of their kids. All right, so here's another comment. It's a one-sided argument with women talking. And yeah, have you ever had an argument with a woman? I mean, we can talk, and talk. I mean, have you not seen my videos? I will talk a person's head off. And I know that before, and I think I still do sometimes, like me going into arguments, and for a lot of women, we go into it with our emotions and our feelings when we should be going into them with facts and logic. So that's what I think I've gotten better at, but sometimes I still do let my emotions probably get the best of me because, I think it gets to a certain point where we have to just be okay with admitting that we're wrong, but a lot of women aren't okay with doing it. All right, and now we have the girl who said, and this is a comment from one of Anton's videos, approach us even if we don't like you, just to make us feel good about ourselves. And this has demonstrated part of why men aren't trying anymore. We are not objects to be used to boost your ego. The guys she's not interested in are going to get rejected, which is going to be a bit of a sting for them, literally boosting her own ego at the expense of a guy's feelings. This comment is actually what I talked about in my men not approaching women video. And I think it's true that a lot of women, they want guys to approach them, but just to give that ego boost of like rejecting them in the process as well. I actually wanted to read this comment that I found from a woman, and she said, I agree. And the problem is if I point, things out, like holding women accountable, then I'll just get accused of being a pick-me or anti-feminist, and I wasn't aware that having self-respect was a bad thing. I know I've been accused of being a pick-me just based off of videos that I've made in the past. Like I made a video, talking about the hypocrisy of the T app, and, I made a video talking about how women shouldn't be surprised that men stare at them in the gym based off of the clothes that they wear. But, just going off of that, like, I don't want people to think that, like, I dislike women, because I don't, and I don't dislike men either. It just so happens to be certain topics I'm talking about now, holding, women accountable, but that doesn't mean I won't hold men accountable as well. Because the whole point of this video was not to sit here and say, like, men are just these perfect beings that can do no wrong. It was just addressing the issues that I'm seeing with a lot of modern women right now. And for the very last time, it's not all women. And, I remember when I first started like watching content from like Anton Daniels, Just Pearly Things, and like Fresh and Fit. I know that probably sounds crazy to hear that a girl's watching, because I know their stuff can be very controversial, but I remember someone had introduced me to it about a year ago. And at first I found it very problematic. I didn't want anything to do with it, but then I actually gave it a chance and realized a lot of the stuff they say in regards to modern dating and, modern women is true. And of course, I don't agree with literally everything they say, because I think some of the takes are just kind of crazy and don't really make any sense. But I do wish that more women would be, just more open-minded to it. And the reason why content like that even exists in the first place is just to let us be aware of issues like I just talked about in this video. Why men are having so much trouble finding a woman to date, because women are gonna say one thing in a video and then say a totally different thing in another. And I'm very sorry for those of you guys out there who are discouraged right now, but I just know that I'm going to continue to hold myself accountable and other women accountable when I see fit. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video today. Hope y'all stay blessed, and I will see you in the next one. All right, bye.